What's up, everybody? This is Jarrett from Bowling for Soup, and you're listening to Upside Down Shark Radio. Nothing worse than an upside down shark, except an upside down shark on the radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Upside Down Shark, episode 38. This week we'll be talking about illegal memes, we'll be talking about PlayStation, Xbox crossplay. Come on Sony, what's that about? And gaming addiction. What's that? Can you be addicted to video games?
No.
I'm the professional one, Craig Bourne, joined by Tom Baker.
Hey, how's it going?
And nerd, Ross Beveridge.
Part nerd.
Part nerd, Ross Beveridge.
What's the other part?
Man,
yes.
Okay.
Nerd man.
I'm not my favourite superhero. Paul isn't with us this week. You know what? What's the reason?
I've heard he's on a bus somewhere up north.
Okay. Feeling like cabbage. So we have Ross instead. Do us proud.
I'm really sorry, everyone.
You've already said more words than Paul. It's fine. Yes, this week there's been a real news, isn't there?
There has been some news.
There's been real news, but we're not going to talk about any of that.
Nope. Because we are the premier pop culture podcast.
Where we discuss the zeitgeist.
All things zeitgeisty. So if you are interested in video games, comic books, movies, wrestling, all that good jazz,
Not really
or
wrestling.
even just someone whose face is covered up by a pop filter, then you're in the right place.
I'm also here. So is Ross.
Hello.
You don't have pop filters.
No. Because we know how to pronounce our P's correctly. Yeah, P's.
All that plosiveness.
Ross, give me a P.
P.
There we go.
That was a big pop.
Ross, let's just ask, what's your favourite thing? I'm a good interviewer.
That's really specific, isn't it?
I've interviewed two musical
Do you
acts.
like things?
What's your favourite nerdy thing?
Oh, nerdy thing.
Or just in general thing?
Well, nerdy thing would be video games. That's the only thing I really know
Okay. That's
in terms of nerd culture.
Okay.
So
Okay. Let's get on with the show then, because we got video games to talk about.
good.
Yes.
Tom, would you like to go? What's the big story this week?
The big story of the week, dear Craig,
Okay.
is that, have you heard, the memes could very well be declared. I can't even get the words out because I'm so angry about this. I'm so angry. Could be declared illegal.
Make a meme of you being scared.
Scared.
Annoyed.
Just angry.
Okay. Not scaroused.
This has not aroused me in any way.
Okay.
So just
You sure you don't mean memes?
MEMES.
Memes or
Watch me whip.
memes?
Now watch me whammy.
I'm about to go out of the door right now, just so you know.
Watch me. Leave the room. So, would you like to know more about this hot developing story?
Yeah, I feel like the government, their old government, they don't have enough time to waste on passing really good laws like cameras up skirts. Let's not pass that.
Yep.
Let's focus on stupid meme pictures instead.
Well, in the defence of accuracy and whatnot, this is the EU, European government. This isn't the UK. Don't get me wrong, the EU is fantastic.
Brexit means Brexit. I'm not in the EU anymore. Memes are going to be fine for me. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Is it hard for you to get back in the groove?
I'm fine. I'm just reading over the story that we're going to be talking about, which could very well be illegal as part of this ruling.
Why make memes illegal, Tom?
Well, it's not specifically memes. It is Articles 11 and 13 of the EU Copyright Directive, which has just been passed, which has all been cleared, which will become law sometime next year, barring any sort of appeal or whatever, will mean that anyone who references any other property, regardless of the context, whether it be transformative or parody or satire or whatever, that will still be an infringement of copyright law. So any meme that has an image of
anything,
well, unless it's an original drawing or an original joke or whatever, that would, in theory, be deemed to be illegal. So that rules out most memes. Even us quoting this article, I'm reading this currently off rt.com. Me quoting this on the podcast would be deemed illegal.
Demonetized.
But
shut it down.
This would have ramifications on a global scale because obviously every website around the world would have to adhere to this because it's the World Wide Web. So it's worldwide. So that means that it will affect Reddit. That's going to be a big issue of how they're going to get past that, because that is predominantly memes, or at least that's all I use it for. And I know a lot of the arguments are based on around this. Have you cited YouTube's copyright bot as an example of a tool that can sift through hundreds and thousands of hours every day to find all this content that could be deemed a breach of copyright law. However, YouTube's owned by Google, arguably, if not the biggest company in the world, in the top 3 or 5. So are they going to have to roll out a similar system across the entire web? Who knows? It seems like it's going to be one of those things that's completely unenforceable. A bit like, I know the UK have tried to age-gate porn sites for the past. They've really amped it up the past sort of 6 months since the turn of the year. But they keep pushing it back because they know it would be unenforceable because of the scale of how they'd have to implement it.
And when you mean age-gate, you mean young people trying to watch porn, not anything sinister?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
As in... you would have to either enter credit card details or some sort of proof that you are of age.
Passport ID.
Yeah. Your parents' credit card or something.
Mum, the sky filter's blocked.
I can't access BBC GCSE Brightside.
That's what it is.
It's blocked.
This is blocked under gaming. This is just my gaming website.
Yeah.
God.
Rule 34 is just the rules I do at school.
YouPwned is definitely a porn website.
ZooTube's just part of my biology class. Because obviously the other side of the coin is that the internet is still, in context of the rest of the laws in the world and whatnot, is still very new, and it's changing so often that they're trying to catch up with the changes that go on a seemingly day-by-day basis. And this is sort of just like a broad stroke way of cutting that out, the exploitation of these loopholes and memes. Sorry, I'm trying to... There's a picture of Grumpy Cat and it's throwing me off.
Basically, if this was still pre-internet time, if I drew a picture, I'd be very happy with the picture. And then...
You wouldn't want other people to use it without your permission.
Get up on that microphone, you can do it.
You wouldn't want anyone else to use it without your permission.
Yeah, if I'm feeling a bit, ruffled,
Because it's on the internet, they haven't really caught up in that way yet.
As soon as you put something on the internet, there you go. Anything leaked, anything like that. So that's a positive way to look at it. If I'm the maker of The Simpsons, imagine all of the YouTube videos and all the pictures that are out there, which I'm not getting money for. But the way YouTube does it is broken anyway, I think, because it only flags up if there is a legitimate problem, like posted from Fox. So I think that it might be illegal, but who's going to enforce this really? The 20th Century Fox have nothing better to do than go on my crappy blog, and... Well,
that's the thing. There are so many people using this stuff online that unless there was some sort of automation or AI where like Content ID on YouTube, which it just automatically flags it, but even then Content ID, especially for the first sort of year of its existence, was buggy and as flawed as all hell, because you would upload a video and it would just get flagged or demonetized or beat to it, and it cost a lot of content creators their livelihoods for a little while, even with us, not to really raise the sub story, but we have had express permission to use tracks by bands like Bowling for Soup on their latest PR
tour. They're touring and they have PR, so it's a PR cycle.
That does PR cycle, yes. And I've appealed it. I have given the name of their PR agent and all the people giving us permission. They're like,
you phoned him up, you put him on the phone to the YouTube person.
Yeah, they're like, nah, that's still content copyright strikes.
Someone, as far as I know it, just say it's a Simpsons episode. They put their footage up there, and then YouTube checks everything that's uploaded against whatever they have in that system. So, that's how it gets flagged. So even if, say, it was us disparaging the Simpsons is the go-to. Everyone loves the Simpsons. If we just have some Simpsons footage and then we're slagging off the Simpsons, they could still flag it and take it down that way, even though we're not infringing a copyright.
Just because they don't like the fact that you're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is, the whole system's flawed anyway. If you're going to have something... I feel like if you make something, you open it up for criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So like when they tell us to get rid of Paul and we're like, no, Paul is a stable pillar of this. He is the upside in Upside Down Shark. That's
he's the upside in my life.
That is definitely true.
I know a lot of companies don't like criticism. I know that some game journalists at like E3 are blacklisted by certain companies because don't like...
That sounds entirely believable.
They don't like... they don't like the criticism they get from it.
It's Kotaku as well. So like they have been known to leak the Assassin's Creed titles
every year.
And now they don't get review copies of any Ubisoft games. I think that may have changed, but
yeah,
for video games specifically, I feel like they're really secretive. We heard about Batman vs Superman 3-4 years before it hit theaters. Now video games, they like to have the surprise, don't they? And I feel like that's a really stupid thing to block people.
I suppose it also is the video game industry is still, comparative to the movie industry, is still much smaller. So there's more chance of leaks with movies just by the sheer number of people involved in the industry.
Yeah.
So I suppose it'd be easier to keep a tight ship with video games.
But now you've seen Bethesda say, like, we're making the next Elder Scrolls, we're making games. We don't have
Starfield, is it?
Starfield, that's the one, yeah.
And that's probably going to be like 2020.
Yeah, but
it's ridiculous.
But then would you rather, like, if you found out about that and reported on it and get blacklisted? No, that's stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So to get up in front and be like, we're making this, I'd prefer... Like, everyone likes surprises, but it's video games, Who
Have we been blacklisted by anyone yet?
I don't know. Are we still... I'm going to keep ragging on Paul because he's not here. Are we still in that chat, or did he blacklist us from our own chat yet? Or what?
I don't know.
Are you personally blacklisted from anywhere for doing anything?
I'm trying to think if I ever been blacklisted from anywhere.
I was never really a trolly person online.
I've never trolled. I don't really post much online except for this fine show, which you are all watching here at Upside Down Shark.
Dankest memes.
I've been kicked out of a shop before, but that was it.
Have you been blacklisted from anywhere, Ross?
No, I don't.
No?
I don't post on any sort of...
You're a lurker, is what that is. When they call them lurkers, that sounds really sinister, doesn't it? You just lurk.
Voyeurs.
I just watch people. Physically, I don't think I've been thrown out of anywhere. I once... the old Folkestone classic, Priz... we went in with glow sticks. It was glow stick night or something. And... I was a bit drunk and I threw a glow stick or two just at my friend. Nothing sinister. Bouncer comes up to me. Excuse me, mate. Do you mind coming outside? So obviously I was a little bit drunk, but I'm not like, you what, mate? Yeah. Went outside and it was like, you're not coming back in now. Why? A former security guard just saw you throwing bottles across the dance floor. And yeah, typical bouncer, doesn't want to listen to you, not going to hear a single thing. Like, there you go.
Back in.
Yep, nowhere to get back in. What's your favourite meme?
Oh, dear.
Favourite meme? Mine's the fry face one. Not sure.
Give me take all my money one.
No, the not sure if something.
Oh yeah, no, that is a good one. That's a good question. I mean, if it's not a meme in it.
Professional millennial, Tom Baker. Good question. What's your favourite meme? He's thinking that. Ross, do you have a favourite meme?
There's just so many good ones.
It's hard for you to not sound sarcastic as you say that. Where do I begin?
Talking of The Simpsons, the one where... I think you count it as a meme. The one where Homer walks back into the hedge.
Oh, the bush one. Yeah, where he's just like, this
you
is
just apply that to so many different things.
Yeah, this is none of my business. Yeah. Backing out.
That was good.
I think it's steamed hams.
Steamed hams.
That's a good meme.
The meme which created its own online shop, correct?
Did it?
I think, yeah, you showed me merchandise from Steamed Hams, wasn't it? Steamed Hams, or was it something else?
You can get Steamed Ham merch. I don't think it's a specific store. It's just, again, just free people stealing that copyright.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be outlawed.
There was a great Simpsons bootleg store called the Leftorium.
I think that's what I might have been thinking of.
I haven't seen any Steamed Hams merch on there, but they got shut down by 20th Century Fox for for obviously stealing their IP. So they opened up a second store called the Best Damn Pet Shop in Town, which in reference to the Prohibition episode of The Simpsons where Moe's gets shut down and has to open up as the Best Damn Pet Shop in Town.
Very good, very good. I think if this copyright law could be a problem for like places like QWERTY, because like this Digimon shirt, which is it's very well designed compared to official merchandise. Because, you know, like some T-shirts officially sanctioned, oh crap. And you take an artistic idea that someone's made based off that, like this Agumon shirt, and it appeals to the fan of it compared to the Is demonetized?
No, I think that's all right.
Okay, Simpsons say it, so.
Yeah, Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
We've already talked about porn. That's probably,
porn,
more reason.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
I think we've discussed memes there. Is that official number one off the docket?
I think that's one off the docket.
Okay. One off the docket. Just try and stop it.
I think that's the first rap you've ever done that hasn't used the word Enos.
Well, there once was a man named Enos, but I don't want to talk about that right now.
There's nothing between us.
The Fortnite stuff really went up heavily. For those who don't know, I'm going to keep erring.
Erring on the side of caution.
Just like PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I just did it there right again. If you have a PlayStation and you've logged into Fortnite, and then with an Epic account, and then you log into your Xbox, it comes up error. Since the Switch version has come out, if you log into the Switch version on that same account, it comes up, you can't go on this because your PlayStation account is linked to this version. If you unlink your PlayStation account, you still can't do it because of some of the Fortnite goodies might be on the PlayStation Store that you bought. So here we have PlayStation not being able to play with anyone else except for PCs, I do believe. Whilst you've got Xbox, mobile phones, Switch, PC, all being able to play together based on this one thing. And now, because of the Switch coming out and people can't play their PlayStation account on their Switch, people have flagged this as a real problem. Obviously, PlayStation is the console leader, and they're making all that money. People in the millions apparently have complained to PlayStation about this, to the point where they have came out with a statement which pretty much reads like, we value your feedback, and we're always trying to make it better. So my question to you is, do you think we will see PlayStation and Sony do crossplay this generation at all, or will they just be stubborn in their plight to be the best with no linking?
Well, because they're in the lead, they feel like they probably don't have to.
The what, sorry?
Not the best.
They're not the best?
No one ever was.
Oh, okay. But this is a Digimon shirt, not a Pokemon shirt.
Same thing, isn't it?
It's weird, like last generation, Xbox One, more Xbox 360s than PlayStation 3s out there. Now, PlayStation are in the lead, and it seems like they're making bigger mistakes.
They seem to make all the right choices at the beginning.
And then...
and now that they're in the lead, I feel like they feel like they don't have to play nice.
Everyone forgets being the good man at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's easy for Xbox to say, yeah, we're doing all this stuff to help people.
Because they're behind.
Because they're behind, yeah. You probably wouldn't get the Games Pass or the disability controller whilst...
There's a disability. Oh, yeah, there is, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea.
It is a good idea. Because why not, let's all play games.
Yeah,
is there a problem with that?
Everyone should be able to play games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then Xbox said they've taken that format and they've just applied, why not play with all your friends wherever they've got, games consoles and stuff like that. So it's a weird thing,
I think the same, you might not have seen the same thing, if Xbox were in the lead, you might not have seen the same thing when they got Minecraft. Because they kept it on PlayStation, and they said that they'll keep doing updates for Minecraft on PlayStation as well, even though that they now own...
Mojang.
Was it Mojo?
Mojang. Yep.
Yeah, so if they were in the lead, they might not have done what they did there either.
But that's the same with Minecraft. I can't play my PS4 version with your Xbox version because PlayStation still don't like cross-platform.
They're really weirdly against it, aren't they?
But then the weirdest thing apparently is on Minecraft on the Switch, you log into your Xbox Live account, and that's how they play against each other. So yeah, Tom, what do you think?
I think everyone should be able to play everything on everything.
With everyone?
With everyone. Why not?
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Like, as long as the games are capable of running at the same spec on every console, then
no disadvantage
yeah, exactly.
or advantage.
Obviously, I think PC to console is a bit of a trickier kettle of fish, especially with FPS, because mouse and keyboard, if you're good at a mouse and keyboard, so not me, then you have a distinct advantage against someone with a controller because you can aim faster and you can have higher dexterity.
Of course.
So that could be a bit of an issue. But as long as they can balance it right, then yeah, why not?
Do we all agree it's probably down to money?
Oh yeah, like it's capitalism. Everyone likes to keep their toys, and
if you're on the PlayStation and you buy a Fortnite skin, you're getting the 30% from PlayStation. But if you hook it up to everywhere else, you might get it on the Switch and then play on your PlayStation, and then Sony are losing that 30%.
That tree fitty.
Do you reckon it's got anything to do with being in contact with Xbox players, having the chance of maybe seeing what Xbox is like, and maybe eventually getting an Xbox? I
like that form of idea. Like, I have a PlayStation 4, and like, PlayStation 4, that's good. That's the only thing there for me. There's nothing else. And then you see someone with a username with a space in it, and then you're just like, how did they do that? What magic is this? And then it turns out they're on an Xbox. What is this thing? I want one right away.
They don't want to acknowledge that there are other consoles out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a silly thing. But that's really blown up, so I thought we should talk about it. Commercialism. It's fun. Tom, what's our track of the week?
Track of the week is...
It's not the Aquabats, is it?
I wish.
Let's talk about that after the break. That's not the Aquabats. Oh, I've just dropped something on the floor. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
I like it. Track of the week is it is The Party by Hightower.
I like to party.
Come on, Hightower, let's
go party.
Doesn't really work, does it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is off Club Dragon, which is their new release.
I like dragons.
I like clubs. Actually, I don't like clubs. I like dragons, though. So we hope you enjoy this track. When we come back, we will have their social links so you can check out all their stuff and give them some love. So without further ado, here is Hightower with The Party. So let's go party with Hightower.
Wasting all my time trying to compromise. I'm so sick of this is Frank Turner, and you are lucky enough to be listening to Upside Down Shark Radio.
And that was Hightower with The Party. Make sure to check them out on their Bandcamp page or on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good jazz.
You right, Tom?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the next thing we got to talk about is.
Video game addiction, Tom.
It's too real. It's too real for me.
So this is the first thing that came out when everyone said, like, it's not a joke disease, but probably the people who think they have it don't have it in the wake of this Fortnite stuff. Because would you say you have an addiction to anything, you two? Apart from my addictions to love. I just love too much.
You stole the joke out of my mouth.
Yes, there we go. But I would say I have a good grasp on everything in my life. I'm not addicted to anything. Not a single thing. I can
not even the cool, refreshing taste of Pepsi Max.
Well, you see,
no calories, no sugar.
Maximum taste, no sugar.
There you go.
Even the cool, refreshing taste of Pepsi Max, I feel like I could give up for a week and be fine.
Would you say that you're dependent on it then?
I am not dependent. I can stop any time. What are you saying? It's probably the endorphins, that goodness you get
endorphins.
From
Dolphins.
What kind of dolphin makes...
Do you know what I'm addicted to, Tom? Your mum way. It's the World Cup. I needed to get a lad.
Football's coming home.
I've heard that. Do you still believe?
No.
3 lions on the shirt.
We don't even have lions in this country, do we? Unless they're in a zoo.
We have lots in the zoos, though.
Either of you actually like football?
I love football.
You know I don't like football.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I have a season ticket to West Ham United.
Oh, you like football, don't you?
Come on the Hammers.
I do.
Yeah.
Who do you support?
Arsenal.
That's all right. It's not Tottenham, so it could be worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, football. They're the religions of this century. You know, you cry. You kiss the badge. You worship. I know of Steven Gerrard.
Who was the other Liverpool 90s players that you can remember?
Oh, Robbie Fowler. Michael Owen. There you go. See? Alan Shearer. I saw him on TV the other day. Don't know what he's doing now. But yes, that's my knowledge of football. Good?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But it is coming home. That's all you need to know.
So, yeah, I don't think I'm really... There was one point I thought I was addicted to energy drinks. But
Really?
yeah, I used to have one every day. But then I would have a headache if I didn't have one.
I know the friend of the show, Alex Watson, our cameraman for our Frank Turner video, which you can watch at upsidedownshark.com. He apparently was so addicted to energy drinks during his mid-20s that he ended up urinating blood. And
so it took away his stomach lining.
It must have ruptured something inside of him, so that was his wake-up call, and then he stopped after that.
I have heard this story.
Ooh.
And wasn't he drinking the 25p Happy Shopper energy drinks?
He would have like 2 or 3 of those before breakfast.
So, like, maybe at least get a brand name?
I mean, I think the principle's the same. I think the key active ingredients are pretty universal. The purity might not be, but...
Christian's Pure Blood. That's what energy drinks is full of.
Is what everyone in the school playgrounds... Everyone said that taurine was made of a particular part of an animal's anatomy. Is that true?
It is So I don't drink energy drinks anymore, but I would consider myself an aficionado. Is that the word?
An expert.
I would call myself... I've had one called Bulldog. One that is just from abroad. It comes in a grey bottle and it's got a big bulldog on. And that's
I think they sell that in Lidl's.
Great. Taurine, the ingredient you're talking about, is synthesized bull sperm.
Yes, that's what I...
Not the real stuff.
So it's the effect without the...
Yes. So as I don't drink energy drinks that much anymore, when I drink one, the effect it has on me is just my heartbeat goes up a little bit and I get like flustered, like I get really hot, because all energy drinks do is push up your heartbeat with synthetic, bull sperm.
Because all I can imagine in my head, if it was real, is that you'd have a part of the farm which would just be for cows for milking. They have the pumps on the others like that. And
like what, sorry?
Like that.
Okay.
And then they have some for getting the taurine, which are more like this. So...
basically, they're not good for you. But, a lot of things aren't good for you, and people still have them, right? So
Yeah, but how do you feel about video game addiction being classed as by the World Health Organization? I'm addicted to not being able to pronounce words right. As a mental illness. Do you think that's I don't know, because from my point of view personally, it's more of a symptom rather than a cause. That if you have an addictive compulsive personality which needs either treatment or therapy, then video games is just one outlet. It isn't the video games themselves which are the addictive component. It's more that there is that you have not a weakness. What's the word I'm looking for? But that you have a
compulsion.
Susceptible to be.
Yeah, you are more susceptible.
Not easily led.
So you're saying it could be swapped. You've got an addictive personality, but the addiction to video games could be swapped out with anything else.
Exactly, like it's the same.
Cigarettes for lollipops.
No, that is a completely different thing because nicotine is psychoactive.
It's all in the mind.
Tell that to anyone that smokes.
Would you say that you could say the same thing about films?
Well, the big example I've seen it compared to is social media. I am guilty of this. That I would the first thing I do when I wake up is just trawl through my Twitter feed to see what my American chums have been doing.
Well, it's just the same like television. I would say probably everyone uses television at least once a day. Would you say you're addicted? I'm
addicted to The Simpsons then, because that's the only thing I watch on a daily basis. I'm just saying.
I'm addicted to bad anime at the moment then.
Bad MMA?
No, anime.
Oh.
Although there probably is an MMA anime.
MMA.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like, obviously it's hard to just brand, because video games still get a bad rap, even though there's been research for positive
positivity.
Exactly, positive and negatives. And I think if you have a real problem, it's good to have help in those situations.
I think it's important to talk to someone about it, and if there's a professional that can give you legitimate professional advice, I think it's better than keeping it bottled in. I think the problem is the differentiating, at least within yourself, when it is sort of self-fulfillment and self-enjoyment, and the sense of it adding to the quality of your life starts to go down, and it taking away from the quality of your life. And I think that gets progressively harder as an adult.
Well, yeah, when you're an adult, you become busier, don't you? And
exactly, that's the thing.
When you're a teenager, that sort of time, you have loads of free time. That could become the hobby. Like years ago, someone died from playing World of Warcraft. Yep. What was it, a day and a half without a break?
Yep.
And they just died. Well, that was probably an addiction.
The biggest and the most notorious case that has come out of this so far recently has been, I think it's an unnamed. Yes, we know of your addiction.
I didn't do that in the mic. You didn't have to stop. That was going to be a good visual gag. Now you brought attention to me drinking the Pepsi Max.
I heard you go in my head, so.
You're always hearing me do that noise in your head. You have mental issues.
I'm addicted to Craig. Anyway, there's a little girl, I believe they said she was under 10, and that she downloaded Fortnite on the Xbox, and that she was playing it so much she was waking up after her parents had fallen asleep and playing it through till 5 a.m. that they found her sitting on a cushion soaked in urine because she couldn't stop playing, to the point where she wet herself rather than go to the toilet.
She was liking those dolphins in her brain.
At what point do you start blaming the parents for this?
Well, that's the problem.
You need to teach boundaries.
It's hard to tell. They said that she, when they tried to take the games away, that she lashed out and everything, and that's why.
Didn't they
She's
smack
a kid.
her?
What do you expect?
Well, like physically tried to assault her parents, and I mean, you can say the parents are at fault, and I mean, I don't know the case personally enough to make any sort of snap judgment either way, but when it gets to that sort of point where in your psyche that it overrules your bodily functions and your sort of natural sort of instinct to
sit there and wait yourself.
Yeah, sort of that. If it gets to the point where you are happy to ignore that as opposed to stop playing for 5 minutes, then you can think, okay, there's something that's not right there.
I'm sure we've all laid in bed before and been like...
Come on, wet ourselves.
Well, no, but then you have that feeling like, I'm about to nod off to sleep, and then you're just like, I need to go to the toilet. And you're just like, I could just wet myself right here.
I have literally never had that thought.
Yeah, but never.
No,
maybe it's because I go to the toilet 500 times a day anyway. That's probably... In the last few years, I wake up at least once a night to go to the toilet.
Oh no, I have that, but I never think, I might as well wet myself. I always feel like, right.
Well, no, I'm not saying I'm just
toilet.
I'm not like, here's the decision, wet myself, or
That sounds like that's what you're doing.
No, but it's just like, I could just lay here and do it.
I'm so comfortable.
But I don't. Yeah, I'm so comfortable.
You could blame it on your significant other.
Yeah, exactly. You were drunk. No, I wasn't. I didn't drink anything. You
It's
were
a
so
Wednesday.
Drunk. I think it is from an outsider standpoint. We're just going to keep talking about Fortnite, aren't we? Jeremy Vine, a radio host, was playing Fortnite because of the talk of addiction, and he wanted to play it and stuff.
Right.
And for as we are gamers, we're wrapped in that. Like, follow, subscribe. As we are in that culture, he said, it's very odd, isn't it, that in this game Fortnite, you shoot people dead and then you dance over their bodies. If you think about that, a doctor isn't going to know the nuance, he says, obviously. But obviously...
nuances of teabagging.
Yeah, exactly. If you say to a doctor, they won't stop playing this thing, the doctor's going to go, I think there might be something wrong with your child. I don't think it's fair to just slap a brush on something, like that.
Oh, yeah, you have to be careful when you diagnose anything, especially with regards to mental health, because it can either have a stigma attached to it or it can affect the way that you live the rest of your life. However, I think it's important that it's getting recognized that games across either video games or IRL, for lack of a better phrase, these issues are being
real life.
That these issues are given sort of the credence and the credibility that they warrant, because I know for a fact that when I was a kid, sort of PS2 era, when I was playing games, I would spend an inordinate amount of time playing games.
What was your go-to? What was your go-to game?
Probably the one which I would say, looking back in hindsight, was probably the closest I came to sort of affecting me in a very detrimental way. It's going to sound awful, but it's Simpsons Hit and Run.
Okay.
It's a great game. Still one of my favorite games of all time. But there was a point where I was playing it so much and I was getting so invested in it that when someone either knocked the console or unplugged it while I was out the room, lost a save, and I threw... I was so... I can still remember vividly being more angry than I think I've ever been. And it's over something as benign and as meaningless and as ridiculous as that. And I think that the lack of context, being a kid, doesn't help. But the fact that sort of overwhelmed every other sort of facet of my life, that it was like, okay, yeah, you need to sort of have someone rejig your priorities.
But you're a kid. You shouldn't need to worry about the doldrums of life.
Oh no, I'm not saying you should worry about the state of the world or anything, but you should sort of you should still have an appreciation of the fact that, oh well, your game didn't save. You still got to have a roof over your head. You still got food in your tummy.
You're probably going to put 100 more hours in that game.
Yeah, it's not like you can't do it again.
Ross, what was your game?
I didn't really have one game. I had quite a few games.
Okay, what were they? List them off for us.
Well, Simpsons Hit and Run would be one. Rome Total War.
Oh God, I know people who have.
That game. It's so good. Various FIFAs and PES.
Oh, you've lost me. You've lost me.
And those games are known to get people really, really annoyed.
Mm-hmm. I know a friend at university. He has a young stepbrother. I believe this is a few years ago, so he was probably about 10 or 11. And I don't know what was going through his head at his time, but I'm not sure if you're aware, in FIFA, in the online mode, you can buy packs of players with real money.
What do they call that?
Dream
Team, is that it?
Ultimate Team.
Ultimate Team, that's one.
Yes, and he was so addicted to Ultimate Team that he took his mum's credit card.
Wow.
And proceeded in the space of, I believe it was 1 weekend, to clock up a bill of £1,000.
That is addiction right there.
And she then made him sell his 3DS to offset it, and then I think he got like pocket money or something, and that all went straight back in the fund to repay back the amount. So
she could have just said it was fraudulent activity.
I have a feeling they may have tried to use that line. However, I don't think they bought it.
From now, like, you can set consoles, like the parent stuff. So like, I've heard this like in a one-off conversation or something. Like, if I'm a parent telling you, Ross, my child, to get off the console, you'll give me loads of jip. But if the Switch says 30 minutes till turn off, 20 minutes till turn off, you won't give me jip because the console itself is saying that.
Right.
So it's a weird like child psychology thing going on there.
And you can just turn it straight back on again then, or
Yeah, I presume you could, but because
the
console's saying it's coming off.
Wow.
Children are more likely to say yeah, all right, until like the dad goes, turn it off, boy, because it's Kratos telling his son, turn it off, boy. But yeah, it's all weird. Everyone be nice to each other.
Don't spend your parents' money unless you have permission.
Yes, good stuff. My go-to game, by the way, is when we first got a PS2, Grand Theft Auto 3 and Wipeout. They were
Wipeout.
Really good, really good. I could spend forever playing them games.
Good choices.
I think that's all our topics spent, but I just want to go around and we haven't really spoken about music in a while. This week I'm going to see Queens of the Stone Age, The Hives, Run the Jewels.
Oh, what a lineup.
I just wanted... Let's just recommend a few things we've been watching or listening to right now.
You start.
The Aquabats.
Oh, for
Because I know...
sake.
The Aquabats, right? They have a kids' TV program, but they're like a ska band.
They are a kids' TV program.
No, they were a band first.
No, they weren't.
They were. So they're a ska band, but they dip in other genres too. And apart from one song, they're all positive and upbeat and fun. And sure, the lyrics are stupid, but I can sing along to nearly all of them now because they're just a good time. Why don't you like them, Tom?
I don't dislike them.
You said they're horrible.
They're just...
You said they're not good.
They're not, though, are they? They're just a bit... Don't get me wrong.
I like songs with meaning.
I love silly things. Like, ska punk is one of my favourite genres of music. You cannot be sad at a ska punk show. And I'm sure if I saw the Aquabats, I would have a good time. That being said, they drift dangerously close to sort of MC Lars.
Also very good.
Yeah, maybe just not my cup of tea. Don't get me wrong, I love Weird Al. I know he's more straight parody, whereas the others are kind of just more like comedy rock.
You could say most ska bands they don't take themselves very seriously.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of them don't, but they don't. It's sort of finding the balance between like the funny side and actually having like good songs, and I don't think Aquabats do. That's just me. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, I'm recommending Aquabats. Make your own opinion. And
don't listen to me.
Millennial negativity.
I'm almost on the cusp of being too young to be a millennial. I'm like 1 year before it becomes Generation Z now or something.
I just think it's where have you ever read a headline anywhere and it says millennials and then something positive afterwards?
Well, the thing is, millennials you sort of instantly think sort of like 20 and below, but
it's old. It's like mid-80s.
Yeah, it's like 1985 to like 1995 is the millennials, and
I thought it was all the way up to like 2000.
No, I'm pretty sure it ends in the 90s, and then I believe it's Generation Z. I could be wrong.
You millennials with your feelings.
Millennials a generation that just knew nothing of before the internet.
That's the perception.
Is that not? I thought that's what.
Or like the millennials are a moany group who, can't afford to go and buy a house, but not out of because
avocado toast.
Yes, because we're too busy spending our money on avocados.
I love avocado.
But not because the generation before us ruined the housing market or anything like that.
Right. Because I thought it was, I don't know, something like 1989 to 2000 or something, so that you wouldn't remember the internet. I thought that's what it was, but obviously
it's what old people just label you as. Who cares about labels?
Yeah.
Do you feel like a millennial? You can be a millennial.
The big ones that people always go to is that it's baby boomers, Generation X, millennial. And that's sort of like for the second half of the 20th century. They're the three big milestones. And I think it's easier to grab those. It's sort of like it's your grandparents, your parents, and you, sort of, unless you are of sort of 20 and below, in which case, get back to school. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Don't be addicted to video games.
No.
Have Credence.
Clearwater Revival.
I was going to make that joke when you said it earlier, but I didn't want to.
I win.
What would you recommend? Ross?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm not really up to date with like any sort of modern music. I have no idea what you two were just talking about.
The Aquabats.
Yeah.
Ska music.
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
No. So yeah, I'm kind of old school with music, but recently I've been listening to a lot of Oasis.
Okay.
I really like Oasis, so listen to them because they're cool.
I mean, that's a palpable term, really. I mean, you know.
It's always more of a Blur fan.
So the thing with Oasis was like, you know, the old Batman thing where it's like it's better to go out with. No, actually, I don't think it was Batman. It's better to go out with a bang than fizzle out. Try and tell me like the last two Oasis albums were really good compared to their earlier stuff. Like
I'm not an Oasis connoisseur.
Oh, okay.
I just know quite a few of their songs, and I like their songs. Talk to me about the Beatles, and I'll talk you into the ground.
Talk me into the ground?
Yeah.
Well, you know.
But with Oasis, I've always just known that they're like the biggest stuff, and I've listened to some of their other songs recently, and I like them. So I don't really know that much about them. I just like some of their songs.
Okay.
I know even less about Blur, to be honest.
Well, like...
Woohoo! Like 2 songs.
After Oasis disbanded, like... BDI came around, and it sounded like they just wanted to.
So bad.
They sounded like they wanted to be the Beatles. So if you like some bad sounding Beatles, then listen to BDI.
Okay.
Don't take that recommendation. Oasis are okay. Gorillaz came from Blur, so I might side on that. There.
Yeah, I thought you might have been on that side of the argument because you told me about Gorillaz before.
Well, they're a really good band.
I only know like 2 of their songs. So.
I mean, you said you like the Beatles. Can you have like a band that releases 4 albums in 1 year? Can they all be good? But that's an argument for another time, isn't it? Tom, what would you recommend?
Can I be cheeky and have one really quick one and then my real one?
Go on then.
Okay, my quick one is the Fall Out Boy's first full-length album, Take This to Your Grave, is now on Spotify. So check that out if you haven't before, because it's their best album.
I mean, but Folie à Doux's better. But,
that's objectively their worst, except for Mania.
Well, then it can't be their worst. Like
they're the two worst.
Folie à Deux is an album that came out and I listened to constantly over and over and over.
As long as Folie à Deux is awful.
So, okay, quick. Yeah. Now give me an even quicker recommendation.
Okay.
Fed up with you just shooting down everything I recommend.
I love you. I just don't love Aquabats. Hello, Bob. I got attacked by a dog. So, are you aware of a band called Let Live?
Yes. Ross?
No.
Have you ever listened to anything by them?
No.
They broke up about, it was like, if it wasn't last year, it was the year before, and it was very sad because they're one of the best live bands going.
More like Let Die.
Anyway, the singer Jason Alon Butler has started a new musical project called The Fever 333. They sound like a cross between Rage Against the Machine and the Beastie Boys. They're very good. They are very politically charged, but in a good way. In that they're not posing or anything. They still incredibly DIY, incredibly heartfelt, very passionate. I would recommend listening to the song Trigger by them, which they released in the wake of the Parkland shootings in America. It is one of the best anti-war, anti-gun songs that I've ever heard, particularly because they are from California, almost ghetto. They're all people of color as well, so it's not like they're just rich white guys, which a lot of these bands are, that just sing to pose, essentially. They have all lived the life that they're singing about, so check that out. Not to get too sort of serious and everything, but it's just really good. I'll be seeing them in their first headline UK show, the Islington Academy, on Wednesday the 22nd of August. So if you're going on that, hit me up at UDS Radio on Twitter, innit?
Yes.
Hey. And we can hang out.
I think that is about going to do it for episode 38 of Upside Down Shark Radio.
Going to do it because Craig's got to poo it.
Well, let's not talk about my vegetarian bowels. But Who says we don't have lengthy discussions about topics on here, right?
It's been great. I've loved it.
Yeah, thanks, Ross. You brought conversation, and we don't usually do that on here.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Quickly, I went to a Cineworld secret screening.
Was it Incredibles 2?
It was Incredibles 2.
I'm so jealous of all of you.
I thought it was going to be Tag, which I'm also looking forward to. But when it was Incredibles 2, I was so happy.
Was it good?
It was good. Recommend go and see it next month, because that's how long you have to wait. Really good. Really good. Worth the 14-year wait for another superhero film. That's going to do it. Give us the plugs.
Plugs are really quick. Facebook,
Bath.
Upside Down
Oh.
Shark. That's the old joke.
Okay.
Facebook, Upside Down Shark. Instagram, Upside Down Shark. Twitter, UDS Radio. Discord, probably ignore. We're not on there very often. Reddit, Upside Down Shark. YouTube, Upside Down Shark.
Tinder.
Craig Bourne.
Wow. God. Positive dating.
Sorry, I got one more.
Ross Beveridge.
Interpol missing people. Paul Wood. Listen to Craig & Co. as well.
Yeah, that's good.
The camera stopped recording a while ago.
Okay, great. Yeah, Craig & Co's good.
We will wrap this up with just the audio.
Well, now, if you look on screen, and we've done this properly, there will be links to other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Woo.
It's like
thinking.
it's like we planned it.
On it like a car bonnet.
Thank you, Ross, for being here.
That's okay. I enjoyed it.
The standing for Paul. Did you really?
Yes.
Oh,
I
thank
can
you.
get electric
Good,
shocks
yeah.
on my laptop as well.
Okay,
Thank you for inviting me.
that's all right. Anytime. And same to you, Tom. Anytime.
Oh, thanks. Can I leave more paper cups at your house?
Yes.
Awesome.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, we clap, yeah. I've been Craig.
I'm Tom.
Say I've been Ross.
I've been Ross.
Yeah.
Woo!
That sounds awful when you hold a microphone.